Brandon, we heard from Sean yesterday. Maybe if you could, just your reaction as one of the leaders in this organization.
As far as
What Sean had to say yesterday, and obviously his comments going back, this is 4 years now.
Yeah, no, obviously, when you're in leadership positions, you got a lot of people looking up to you, and none of us are perfect. Okay, and I think Sean acknowledged that. I thought, I went into the team meeting yesterday. I think he talked to you guys first. Went in the team meeting, and I thought it was very authentic. I thought the guys all saw that and felt that and know Sean for who he is. And I think you guys that have been around here some years know who Sean's character is, and I'll stand by his character every day of the week.
The big assertion in this story, I'm not sure that if you read it, but Sean indicated that it was an attack on his character, but 25 former players, coaches, that basically the theme of it was there's been a lack of accountability within the organization from Sean. Has that been your experience with him?
No, not at all. Listen, this is a tough business, and in the positions that we're in, sometimes people don't leave here, thrilled with the reason or agree with the reason, and it's just, it's unfortunate. You would love for everyone to leave here smiling and happy, and it's a competitive business, and again, sometimes you have to agree to disagree. But no, that's not how I would categorize Sean in my eyes.
Brandon, what have you seen from Sean kind of in the last day, like his reaction to it? Like, what have those conversations been like between the two of you?
Yeah, I mean, he's hurt, and he's human, and just like when your family member's down or something's happened, that's you just put your arms around and support him and support his family and just try and work through this. It's obviously been a tough week. Vaughn had his situation that we were working through, and then this dropped yesterday, and so we'll just work through it. We're kind of used in this business dealing with adversity, and I think we've had our fair share. I think we're ready to move on and play football, and I know the guys are excited to get to Kansas City on Sunday.
How much has Terry been involved in this challenging week in those conversations?
Yeah, Sean and I talk to him regularly, and so he's very up to speed from the minute we learned about the situation with Vaughn to when Derek let us know about this yesterday, and we got on the horn with Terry right away, and so he's very involved, and he's up to speed.
Were you aware of these comments from Sean during this meeting prior to yesterday?
No, I had heard about something offhand, but I'm not in the team meetings, and by the time I heard something was said or whatever, he had already called them together and kind of try to repair it and apologize however he did. So I was not at the meeting, and I did not hear the apology then.
To clarify, you're talking about back in 2019.
Yes. Yeah.
Were you in the meeting yesterday at all when Sean addressed the team? What was that like?
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
He was very authentic. I mean, I don't want to get into the words, but very real as he generally is with the guys, and same thing. Just when something comes out like this, a lot of players were not here. We know the roster turns over, so I think he just kind of went back through that situation to make sure and offered up, does anyone have any questions? And he was very vulnerable, and I know the guys, I think it, without speaking to every single player, I think it resonated, and like this team always does, the guys are going to rally around him.
You referenced earlier the week that there's been a lot going on here. How much of a distraction is this for the team, and how confident are you that this locker room and the players in there still believe in their head coach?
Yeah, no, I think they very much believe, and if there was a bunch of questions or back and forth yesterday, I've been in team meetings where not everyone's on the same page, and when it's an open forum, and there was none of that. And there was none of that coming out of the meeting. No one was, grabbing me on the side or coming to my office separately or anything like that. I think he handled a very tough situation. Owned up to the mistake of it, and I thought he was very vulnerable, which people respect that. And if you can't sit up there and read off of a card or a statement, you can, but I don't think it's as genuine. And so my comments to him afterward were just to support him, and I know it's tough, and I thought you handled it the best you could.
Brandon, going off that, in lights of the comments, was there people in the organization that may have felt differently about Sean now? Do you still feel like people in this organization look to Sean as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, someone they can trust as well? People outside the locker room specifically.
Can
As in, like,
people?
front staff members, people
Oh,
who
I
work
gotcha.
around the facility who,
Yeah.
are invested in this team just as much as you guys are.
Yeah. No, it's. I think everyone understands that we're all human, and I've made mistakes. If you're in these positions long enough, you're going to do things or lead people or say something that you're like, damn, I wish I had that back. And I think it's how you handle it if people are going to follow you, and if Sean was deflecting it onto someone else and not himself, then maybe it wouldn't be the same response. But I have no doubt that the players and the staff and the support staff that you're talking about are all behind him and behind this team.
If what was reported in regards to what he said in that meeting in 2019 is indeed accurate, in your mind, is that unacceptable?
Yeah, I don't. He knows he made a mistake, and I think he owned that. And just like I said, Jay, if you're in these seats long enough, sometimes you do something you're like, damn, I wish I had that back. And that's probably the best way I can categorize it.
Before the story came out, pressure has been intensifying from the fan base, obviously the national media, local media, on Sean and his tenure. There's been a lot of success, but there's been high-profile, games that weren't successes. Where do you feel like he's at in your eyes, leading to this final push, and where does he sit with you guys at 6-6 here?
Yeah, listen, this is a hard business. It's hard to win every single week, and yeah, we all wish we had done things differently, made more plays, not turned the ball over. I'm sure as he's the play caller now in defense, I'm sure you look back in a game, you're not going to say, man, I called a perfect game today. There's things, but everyone is 100% behind Sean, and everyone's not focused, Matt, on the previous 12 games. I know we're 6-6. Everyone is truly focused. It's been a good week of practice. I know we've had a couple of hiccups here that we've had to deal with off the field, but out there you wouldn't know it. And I just was out there for every bit of that practice and just to watch that and see it. And so, no, the guys are going to rally, and there's two things you can do. You can divide or you can rally, and I expect this team to rally.
In regards to Vaughn, the decision is there for you guys to make to maybe not have him up on game day, as one of the 48. It doesn't sound like that is the plan right now, at least after listening to Sean this morning. I guess the question is just why not?
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, Jay. I mean, and there's no, as I said this the other day, no matter what you do, somebody's not going to agree. We could sit him, you could, talk to the league, see if there's a suspension or something you can do. Like, it's a slippery slope in that anytime something is an accusation versus, as I said the other day, we're not investigators. We don't have all the information. We have very little because it's considered an open investigation. And so if we had clarity of that he had committed, any of the original accusations before the story was amended, then yeah, I think we'd do something different. But if it's a dangerous slope if someone walks in here and says something else about another play. Where do you draw the line of who you're going to sit and who you're not? And so we're just going to, again, as I said, follow the league and let them use their resources. And we do our best, but we're kind of at their beck and call as well. And so at this time, Vaughn will continue to remain a member of the team. And week by week, we're going to play the best 48.
The thoughts come on Orazia when he was cleared. I mean, he's been cleared of that, but everybody else labeled him, and it seems like he did nothing wrong. The punter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's similar to your point of.
It's so hard because if you go back to that situation, we were obviously taking a lot of public heat. There was a lot of, I would say, we did not know Matt as long either, so you know what you're being told about a person from the college people that we kind of dig on these guys, and we had a little bit of time with them in the spring, but so that was a Title IX thing. There was we could get very little out of it other than what we were reading, the same things you guys were reading, and it was obviously sounded very, very bad. And we were hopeful that they could put him on the commissioner's exempt list, but that wasn't an option because it was only a civil case. So these are, again, without getting too deep into it, everyone's has its own situation, and we're not perfect. I'm not sitting here saying we handled that perfectly, and I'm not saying we're handling this one perfectly. We're doing the best we can with what we have, also following the league's guidance. And I would just ask people, to look, at our track record here from the Pagulas to Sean and myself, that we try to bring in people with high character here, and we want everything to be, we don't even want this situation to come up. Sometimes things do, but we do look for the, high character people, and we're trying to do our best we can. And, as I said to Jay earlier, sometimes there are going to be people that disagree no matter which way you go, and that's part of the business.